Okay, hi everyone. This is Engineer David here. Welcome to today's section on Git and GitHub practical training with DTech Engineering. On the mic is Engineer Kingsley. So, Engineer Kingsley, please kindly uh, proceed. You can share your screen, please. Thank you. Remember, we just have 1 hour. So, after 1 hour, uh, Teams will log us out once it's on the dots 9 teams will log us out. So just proceed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Engineer David, for this opportunity to share my knowledge with the community. Last week I was opportune to talk about Git and GitHub and some reasons why it's important that we learn it even as we are beginning in our development journey as software developers. Today we'll be doing more of some practicals to showcase how you can start using Git and GitHub. We'll start from the very beginning. Will help us start off today to maximize our time. So I would want to know if we're able to install Git on our local machine, because what we'll be doing today will be more of a hands-on. So I would like everyone to follow along while I drive us. I would like us to follow along. So everybody will be driving too. So as I'm doing, you will be doing as well. So I would like to know if we're able to set up Git in a local device. Are there some challenges? We can start from there. And also, were we able to sign up on GitHub? Have we created an account? I would like a response, please.
Yes, I've created an account. I have an account with GitHub.
Okay. What about George and Israel?
Yeah, hello, good evening. I've been able to
Good
install
evening,
it, but
Israel.
I don't think I've opened an account yet. I installed it on my system. I don't have the account yet. I'm trying to open it now.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we are making some progress. So, all right. Now I will share my screen, but I would like to mention that whatever we'll be doing today will be the very basic, the fundamentals. So, I will employ us to try as much as we can to build on this. Like on your own, search out some materials that will help you master Git and GitHub. Is a very important skill you need to have as a developer, even as a non-developer. So far, you are in tech, is very essential, right? So after this brief introduction to GitHub, I would employ us to. I would advise that we read further on it and try to update our knowledge on Git and GitHub. So at this point, I will be sharing my screen. I think we'll start by walking us through GitHub, and then we now create a little repository, and then push to GitHub. So once we're able to do that, I think it will be easier for us to kickstart from there. So let me share my screen. Minute. I will be sharing my entire screen so that it will be easier for me to navigate from terminal to browser and every other place, maybe to VS Code as well. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Very well, we can. Very well, I can see your screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, so the first thing is to go to github.com. create register with GitHub, you go to github.com. I'm already on this URL. So from here, I'm already signed in. I will also sign out so that I will make sure that we start from the very beginning. So we sign out from here. So I confirm that I want to sign out, and then so if you haven't created an account, this is the page you see. So if you have an account already, probably last week you created an account, you can sign in here. So once you come here, you can input your details and sign in. But if you haven't created an account, you can create an account from this button here. Create is actually a link. Create an account, or we can still go back and sign up from the main page. But since we're on this page, we can use this. So if you want to create an account, I already have an account. So but then you need to input your email. Sorry. So it's actually initializing it in the first place. So you put your email here. This email is already taken because I already have an account. So, but if you have a valid email, you can input your email. Okay, I think I have. Just for the sake of this training, we can use I'm not sure. So maybe we don't need to do this. So let's just if you are following along, you can input your email here and click continue. You'll be taken to the next page to enter your password, and then just follow up the setup, right? The steps to create an account, and then confirm your email, and then come back to sign in. So I already have an account, so there won't be any need for me to create another account on GitHub. So
My apologies, sir. Please, mine is
okay.
showing email domain could not be verified. I spelled it correctly. I don't know why it says could not be verified.
Is it a Gmail account?
Yes. Yes.
Um, can you try refreshing your page and try it again?
Okay.
All right. So while you do that, get back to us. I can sign in. So
Wait.
did you succeed? So while we wait for your response, you GitHub will want to authenticate the user once you want to sign in. So I've already received the code, so I'll have to input the OTP that have been sent to me. I have to do this as fast as possible. So once this is authenticated, you will be signed into your dashboard. So this is your dashboard, but then this is not your profile. So I would walk us through the profile. So you come click on this. My phone has my picture on it because I've already set up this profile with my profile picture. But if you haven't, your own should have either your initials or an avatar. So I'll go to my profile. So your profile is the most important section in your GitHub account. So why is the most important section is GitHub provides you with a README file that will be displayed um, in your profile, right? So I will try as much as possible to speed up because of our time. So GitHub provides you with a session to a sort of sell yourself, right? So you can see this profile section talks more about me and what I have done. and amazing projects I have built. You can see some of my pinned project here. So these are like this section is like more like a project section, a portfolio section where I have to display some project that I'm very, very proud of that I have done in the past. And then you have this section of your commit history. So this is all your activities on GitHub, your the coding you've been doing on daily basis and you pushing to GitHub. So sorry, I think all right. So GitHub stores this history for you. So from here, recruiters or potential employers can be able to understand how passionate you are about coding, how often do you code, how often do you use GitHub, and all of that. So, mind you, you can be writing your code on daily basis and not committing to GitHub. So that does not mean that if this is scanty, that you have not been writing code or you've not been consistent in coding, but rather what it means is that you've not been using GitHub to document your progress, right? So you can see that these green dots represent number of commits I have sent to GitHub. The higher the number of commits, the greener the lighter the green color. So the places where you have dark, there is no green dot, is are places are days that I never wrote any code and sent to GitHub. So all the other days are days that okay, I have been active on GitHub and I've been sending my work to GitHub, right? So I jumped a section up. I'll go back to it. So every other thing here is all about your activities on GitHub, the number of repositories. So repository is like the way GitHub organizes your project. It's like folders. So each repository represents a project. So when you start creating your project locally is also GitHub repository. Once it has been connected to GitHub, so it becomes a repository, right? So it's more like a way GitHub organizes your project or your work. So these statistics here is more like a summary of my activity. Just like I said, this profile page is more like your space to showcase what you have been doing on GitHub. You can see my most used languages. From these statistics, I have JavaScript as the top most used language. And there is C++, there is C, there is Makefy, and then there is CMake. So once you push your project on GitHub, GitHub has a way of detecting the language you are writing in, and it records it for you, right? So the next thing I'd like to talk about again is
I'm so sorry to interject, sir. So I've
okay.
been able to sign in. So where I am now, it's asking me how many team member will you be working with? Are you a student or a teacher? Blah blah blah.
So you have to use you have to follow the question. If you are a student, if you intend using it as a student, fine. If you intend using it as an organization, you respond to them. If you intend using it as personal, so you need to put a fewer number of persons to be working with.
Okay. Okay. I think I've put personally the family. Okay. What's next? What specific features are you interested in? These specific features. Am I to click everything?
Yeah, click as much as you can. I don't think it has much impact. I think it's a way GitHub gets to know what people are interested. Like it's more like a survey they take while you open the account. I don't think it really have any impact on what they are providing to you once you sign up. Once you are fully signed up.
Okay. I think I'm in now. Continue for free. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Initialize
So
my data. Okay. All right.
all right. So
I
on
have my dashboard. So okay. Let me just
Please, please
listen to you
proceed.
because
Please proceed.
what
Proceed. We don't have
proceed.
much time. Please, after the class, you can go and watch the recordings. Right? Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So on this
Okay, sir.
section, yeah, on this section is more like, can say I've done a 3 minutes, a 2 to 3 minute speech about myself, where I've included my years of experience, what I do, project I've worked with, my skill set, right? So basically, in software development, you don't really need to um um like majorly what we do in software development majorly is to have a road path, right? So if there are roles, if there are skills you already learning, it's important that you mention them, right? Then if there are things still you've already had experience on, it's also important that you mention them in your GitHub profile, right? So, and if there are skills that you are looking up to, like you want to specialize in and you are still learning them, it's also good that rather you have done some project on them. It's also good that you mention them in your profile. So what that does for you is that it open us more a wider opportunity for you to secure a job intake, right? So here I have also included projects, tools that I'm an expert in, and then tools that I also have very limited knowledge on, right? So most of the time when you come for interview, your the recruiter would like to know your level of your experience in every tool that you've mentioned. So you is there you have to explain further on what you have done, what you have been able to achieve. But on this, because most of the time when recruiters are checking out your GitHub, this is where they are coming to first, right? Once a recruiter asks for your GitHub account, they want to see this particular page. So see it like an opportunity to sell yourself where nobody is. You don't have the opportunity to speak, right? So you need to make it look more professional, make it look more enticing as well, and then at the same time be honest with it, right? So other things is this section by my left here are just your details and your contact details as well. So from here people can learn more about you. Like this is my portfolio. If you click it will direct you to my portfolio site. So um so this is it for your profile. Then the next thing we'll talk about is this tab here. So this is our overview. This is the all the repositories, or I can also call them project that I have done on GitHub, and see they are currently at 88. So including some are public, like you can Google them and you find them. Then some that are private, you never find them on the internet. It's just for me, except I sent you the link. So these are all my projects, and some are not tech related anyway. So um so this another thing here is this star here is your project. Sometimes when you do project, you invite your friends to come and check it out, review it, and star it. So starting a project is more like you make a comment on social media, you post a comment on social media, and people like it and they click like button. So starting your project is very very important as well, because it showcases that okay, your project is relevant to some people. They've looked at it, they liked it. So starting a project is more like liking a project, right? So this is more like a total number of start project I have on my GitHub repository. So the next thing I would like to talk about is how do you create a repository, which will lead us to the major thing we came for here. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed with this interface, because GitHub is not what we learn in a day, but letting us scare you. As time goes on, you just pick one point. If you're able to pick just a single thing out of whatever I've said today, or I'll be saying today, is very perfect, is very okay. So as time goes on, you begin to improve on it, right? So don't let it overwhelm you, right? So on this side, to start a GitHub repository, you can do it in two ways. So you can from here go to your repositories, and then you can click on this drop down menu here, and then you can click on new project. So once you click on new project, you'll be asked to create a repository name. So input your name. So this templates will always remain like this. I don't really know what the need is for, like why it's like this. It's always like this, right? So but then you need to impute your project name. Let me say first it's up project. Sorry. So first GitHub project, right? So you will notice that I use what is this called again? You can really notice the naming convention I use. Everything I have written here is in lowercase with a hyphen, right? So this is totally up to you to choose your naming convention. This is how I like to name, because I like to name my project, because at the end of the day, this might turn out to be a URL. By the time you are done with your project and you want to host it, probably on Git page, which GitHub pages, which is a platform that GitHub provides us to freely deploy our project on a habit on the search engine. Like people can search for it anywhere and have access to it. So it can turn out to be a URL. And I noticed that most URL are always lowercase, right? So that is why I usually use lowercase as my naming convention for naming GitHub repositories. So the next thing you choose is owner. So I have, this is my personal account at Kingsley, but then I have other organization account I belongs to. So here I have to select if this is a personal account, this is for me, or it belongs to any of these organization here that I already have, right? So here, this is for personal reasons. So once you select the owner, for you that is just that you only see your name until you start joining organizations and people start inviting you to collaborate on their projects. So you might see more than one name here. But for me, I have up to four or five. Okay. So so once you have chosen a repository name, GitHub will run a search to make sure, just like you buying a domain, before you buy a domain name, a search should be run to confirm that the domain is free, right? So GitHub, you know that URL are always unique address. So GitHub will run a search to confirm that this name you have chosen is actually available. We have not had any project that has the same name with this project. So with that, once it's confirmed, it will give you a feedback that this particular name is available, so you can go ahead and use it. If it's not available, it will also tell you that it's not available, so you have to choose another name. So the next thing you have to do is to give a short description of the project. So if is a professional practice to give every repository a short description. So what that does for you is that once your repository is created, any person you are inviting to your project will have an idea of what the project does. So this description is more like a short explanation of what your project is all about. So once that is done, then the next thing you have to select is if this project is going to be a public project. So you want it to live in the public domain. People can search for it with keywords and they can find it. Or you just want it to be a private, that even if someone comes to your GitHub, you'll not be able to find this project except you send them the direct link. So you have to choose. So for now, we'll choose public because we want to make this a public URL. So the next thing is to initialize README. So README files in GitHub is a professional practice, is best practice to include README and to professionally develop your README file each time you are creating a project. So what README file does for you is that it helps you, it helps other developers understand detailed technicalities about your project, and even non-developers. So you have to include what the project does. If there are resources necessary for someone to understand the project, you put them in your README file. If there are screenshots, if there are live links, if the project have been deployed, you also include the live link. Every necessary information, how to clone your project and run it locally and set it up and all of that. All of them has to be in the README file. So you can decide to initialize it while creating this project, or you can also decide to add it locally. So for this, for the interest of this project, we will not be initializing it. Maybe we'll have a second tutorial where we will have to initialize, but for now, we'll not initialize it because I want us to get some GitHub command once we've done that. So we'll also leave this as none. So we don't want to, we'll create our git ignore locally. So what git ignore does for us is that is a file that lives in your repository locally. So when you are developing your project, you have to, there are packages you have to install that are not necessary that you bring them to GitHub. Like they are very important that the packages are there locally on your, like start your server and run it up for 3,000. Some of these things may not be sounding very clear, but as time goes on, you'll be getting familiar with them and it will be clearer, right? So just be hearing it for the first time, right? So it's perfectly okay that like that, right? So you once you include git ignore, what the file will do for you is that it will pick every file that you've asked git to you have asked git to ignore when sending your project to GitHub. So there are heavy files I don't need to bring to GitHub because they are not necessary. So it will ignore all of them. It will just be on your computer. It will not come to your GitHub account, right? So for now, we're also not initializing this. So this license is also important that you can choose to pick any of this licensing here, or you can, I think GitHub provides us with all this software licensing. You can also leave it at none. So for now, we'll leave it at none. So once you have done all these steps, if I've taken all these steps, the next thing is for us to create our repository. So click this button. Now, so this is one way of creating a GitHub repository, right? So once you have, I will also talk about the second method you can use to create a repository. So this method is first creating a GitHub repository first, and then cloning the project. Right now, what we'll do next is to clone this project that we have created locally on our system. Cloning is like copying this folder to our system. So once we have copied it, it will be automatically, GitHub will automatically initialize it for us. So the second step will be like creating it on a local system first and then pushing it to GitHub. So it's more like here we are coming to GitHub. We are coming from GitHub to our system, to our local machine. But the second method will be from our local machine to our GitHub. I don't know how they say that added that if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain comes to Muhammad. So see, it's like that relationship of Muhammad and mountain, right? So GitHub is coming to your PC now. That is the method we are using now. But the second method we use is our PC is going to GitHub. It's just an illustration, right? So once this has been created, this is most recommended method of creating a repository. So once this is created, we'll click this button here to copy this URL. This is the GitHub URL we need. And mind you, so we can copy this URL in two ways. You can copy it as SSH, which we are not going into here. So SSH provides us with more secured method. Many a times when we use SSL is when we are doing combined projects, like you have other developer working on the same project. But for now, what we are copying is, you will notice that the URL is different. So this one starts with git@github.com. That is SSH. But when we go to HTTPS, it starts with HTTPS. So what we are copying here is this HTTPS link. So for SSH, there are other procedures to use SSH URL. So for now, we'll copy this. So once we have copied this, we need to open up our terminal. So my terminal is open. So to open up your terminal, you just need to decide where you want to put your project. The project you have copied, you just need to decide where exactly you want to put it. So once you have decided, for now, I want to put this project on my desktop. So this is my desktop here. So I will just create a new folder here, and then I'll call it my project. So once I've created this folder, I want to open it up. So I'll you see where I'll click on top. I'm using Windows for this training. I don't know, some other person might be using other operating systems. But if you are using Windows, it will be very easier for you to follow along. So if you are using Windows, you just highlight the whole of this and then you press CMD and press enter. So this will automatically open up a terminal with this directory already. So we are already inside this folder that we just created. So inside this folder, we will run this command git oh um we'll run this command git clone, and then we'll paste that URL we have copied. So what this does for us is that once we run this command, it will copy this this file, this folder that we have on GitHub. It will bring it down, it will download it. I think the right word is download, to download it to our local machine. But if you are running Git for the very first time, if you run this command, you will get an error. So before you run this command, you need to run git init. Do you have people following along, like doing the same as I'm doing? Can you guys see hear me?
Yeah, bro, I can hear you, Mr. Kingsley.
You will have to what just to want to do it along the way you are doing, but see now we just
Sorry,
have
I
to
can't hear you very audibly.
what you can just follow it.
Hello, can you hear me,
I said
Mr.
that we might
Kingsley?
have to want to do this along and probably practice it. But for now, we just have to follow what you're doing.
Hello, can we ask questions?
I think it will be Mr. Dave. I think it will be important that people follow along instead of doing more like a tutorial, right?
Okay,
I think people can ask
they can
questions
ask
like,
questions,
yeah.
but what I'm considering is the time factor. I don't know if we have other environment that can extend our time aside this 1 hour thing. If probably I think a Google Meet normally it was more than 2 hours before, but now they just shorten it to 1 hour. So if we have other platform that can extend our time, in order to have a good detail as regards to what we're doing in longer time, I think that would be preferable. If anybody has any suggestion, where we can any environment we can any virtual environment that we can extend our time from just 1 hour, because I believe that what we're learning here is a life changing skills. So I believe everybody need to practice it, because you need to practice to become perfect and need to practice to become good at what you do. So that's just what, if you have a, because you can ask, but however, if once it's 9 o'clock, I'm sure they're going to log us out. That's just it. We can just I just want us to maximize this time in order to grab out what you're doing. That's just on that regards. Mm. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Kingsley, I think I don't know if they're recording.
Yeah,
Once they're recording, I think we can go back to the record and
yeah. I'm recording it.
follow
I'm
you.
recording it. I'm recording it. It's on recording. So
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
that's why I wanted
Thank
to
you.
proceed. Yeah,
Also,
thank you.
Mr. Kingsley, I have a question to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned about terminal. You just open the terminal. How do I open the terminal? How do I have a terminal on my laptop?
Okay, so when I created a folder and I typed the cmd command, is one way of opening your terminal, right? um I think is the best way to open. It's better you open your the folder where you want your project to live in directly on your terminal, just like the way I did now. But generally, your terminal, you can open it from running from this search button. This command prompt, you can still run your code from here. it will still work, right?
Okay, I get.
So
Thank you.
yeah. So once we have cloned our project, the next thing we want to do is to um cdm, like move into this directory, this folder. No, this is a folder we've already created now. We've already downloaded, so we need to move into this folder, right? So we move into this folder. So um
I,
because we okay,
hello,
you want
can
to
you hear
ask?
me? I was thinking, yes, I was thinking we use virtual VS Code for this.
Yes. So I'm getting to that point. So once you are inside this folder now, why we are entering into this folder is because we want to work on this file, this folder. I want to create more files and edit our project in it, right? So we open it up in our whatever editor you are using. Once you run code and then you run dot code dot, I press enter, it will open up your text editor, your default text editor on your browser, on your local machine. If it's VS Code, it will open. If it's Sublime or any other text editor you are using, it will open it up, right? So once this is done, what we need to do again, you see our project is open. So what we need to do is to create a file. I will call this maybe index.html. So create an index.html file. My system is a bit slow. I don't know. So while this run, I can open up a terminal because VS Code gives us the feature of running a terminal command. So I can also open up a terminal here so that I don't need to go to this place again, this computer terminal again. So here we could create just an HTML file. um, just a basic HTML file. It could be anything. Let me just use the HTML structure. So we could do a body. Um, so I could do an H1. I could say, so we've created this file now. So what we need to do is to push, my terminal is still opening, is to push this file to GitHub. So this is taking time. I can run this command here. I can run it here. I can also run it here. So because of our time, so what we need to do is we can either do git add the name of the file, which is our index.html file, right? So because we have just one file here, it's okay to run this command, right? But imagine that we have more than one file, maybe 10, maybe more than 10 files, that we've made changes to all of those 10 files. And we need to track those changes to GitHub. We need to push it to GitHub. So we'll be doing, probably we have a style .css file, or maybe an index dot. Again, we have an index.js file. We won't be doing all of this. It will be a lot of stress. So we can probably delete this and then run git add dot. So this dot stands for every file that we have on our local machine, except files
How are
that
you?
we have indicated in our git.ignore file, that we don't want
I'm
all
looking
these
for
files
how
to
to
be sent
extend
to
the time
GitHub.
because the time they
So
even do
every
themselves. For
other
what of
file
many
will be
years
sent
technical.
with the changes we have made
for
to
2 hours
GitHub.
instead of 1
So
hour.
No,
once we
one
run this
but
command,
the now Google Meet they give
we have
us more
sent
than 1 hour. They don't do 1 hour.
it
And if I
has
record and if
recorded.
break, no good.
So if
So once I
we
record them and
want
put
to
them on
check,
direct,
if
you
we
understand?
run
Once
git
now we finish, I will record
status,
them. I will
we are run git
create this
status
thing now.
before running this command. You see, it has told you that it is tracking
So
this
if it's
file.
1 hour now, it will
Had
log
it been
out.
I would
To
have
log
run
out
this
after
git
1 hour.
status before running
Yeah,
this
create
git
another
so that
link
you
and
could see
send
the
it and
difference.
someone
It's
will
not
So
see.
create and
now
go.
we've
Yeah. This is
already
continuation of
ask
that
GitHub
record.
that we are adding this
Post the
file.
two.
We are ready to push this file. We are ready
Suppose it
to
to
add it
one.
to
I need it
GitHub.
to be one in
So
one
the next
section.
thing we do is to run git commit
That's the only option for now. Except
dash
there's a way of
m. So
joining
this
it.
is the syntax. So you put it
Maybe there might be ways
your
of
message.
joining
You put
it.
it in a quote, and then what we did
Joining
was
record.
that we create
Maybe.
um a git
I wanted to put
com
relaxer, but there's no time again. I can't
no
put relaxer.
we create an index .html file.
What time did
So
you post
it's
that?
very, very important. Your
It's
commit message is should be as professional as possible and should be as descriptive as possible. You know that you notice that I
Taking my
didn't say
phone.
we created.
I'm in the parlor.
I
it's all
said
right.
create.
Don't
Like
finish.
is not in the
Baby.
past tense, is
I'm
not
boiling the
in
chicken.
the
Okay.
future tense. So
Okay.
this is more like a convention to write it. So you didn't say added. No, you say you add because you are telling someone that will come in the future to read this what you actually did. So in the future time, it will remind you that this is what you did, right? I don't know if that is clear enough, but then you don't make your message sound like you already done it. You make it sound like something you're gonna do. You get so in the present tense or in the futuristic tense. So we run this command, and then GitHub has told us that he has recognized, he has pushed this. So at this point, even if you don't have internet connection, these two commands, all these commands will run successfully, right? The only command that will need an internet, because what you have done that you have tagged this commit somewhere in the cloud. It has not been pushed to your GitHub yet, but it has left your project. So you see that this text here initially was green. That green is an indication that we created this file new and we made changes to it. But now it has changed to white because what VS Code is trying to tell me is that this particular file has been tracked, has been sent to GitHub. Like I have committed it to GitHub, right? So if we come back to this and say git push origin, I may not permit me to explain this origin concept. Main, right? This should send our code, our project to GitHub. So now we have pushed our project to GitHub, right? Everything we have done here, we can see it when we go back to our browser. If I come back and I refresh this page, Control R, right? So you see that that file we created is already here for us. So basically, this is the basic command that sends your project from your local machine to GitHub. So if I share this file with everybody here, you will still see this. If you copy this URL, you will still get to this project. You will still see this. So basically, we have pushed our code to GitHub. So even if we create another file and probably we call it file.css and we maybe write maybe a minor, very basic CSS rule. Maybe we want to remove all the default settings and say margin 0, padding 0, right? So it's still the same command we ran initially that we need to. It's still the same process. So with this, if I do git status, check project that have been tracked. So you see that this file we created has not been tracked. We've not added it. But if you run the same command we run before, it add, and then we'll run the, see the difference. So this is the only file we have made changes to. If it's more than one, all of them will appear on red text that these files has not been included. Rather, they are files that we need to include. These are files we have made changes to. But once we've added it, it's the color changes to green, telling us that okay, these files have been added, they have been staged for commit. So the next command to run is to commit it to tell GitHub what exact changes we made on this version that we want to commit to GitHub, right? If we like, you can still use the same method we use here, and then change this file name to style.css, and then run our git push. If I don't put origin, the branch. So remember initially what I did was git push origin is main. So once we create a repository, GitHub creates a default branch for us. Initially it is called master branch, but now GitHub calls it main branch. So that is the branch we are referencing here. So what we are telling GitHub here is that these particular changes we made, we want to push it to the main branch. There might be other branches, although for now, the branch we have for now is only the main branch. There might be other branches. So here, GitHub will recognize that we are pushing this code not to any other branch, but to the main branch. So once that is recognized, you push. So but now I'm writing origin because I have run this already before. So I can just do git push and it will be fine. It will still push it to the current branch we are in. So if we still go back to our browser and refresh now, refresh this file, Control R, you will see that that style, that CSS style we added has appeared here now, like it's included. So I don't want to bore us with so many talks. So is one will practice. There are more to it, but the one will practice. So the only thing I would like to conclude with, the only feature I would like to conclude with is create branch. So before I create a branch locally, you see that when you come to this code, this branch, this branch here,
I need your
we
phone
have
to
only
you
one branch here.
because of internet.
If you view all branches, you will not see any other.
The more it's
Just one
closer,
branch
the
that we
more
are
I'm
adding to
getting
main
network.
branch, right? So this branch is where all your code lives in. But
You're connected.
you can decide that okay, if all your code is in this main branch now, we don't want to make changes to this
The more
branch.
it's
We just
closer, the
want
more
to
I'm getting more power network.
create a different branch in case anything happens to this code. We can just delete that branch, and then the previous version that worked for us is still there, right? So what we'll do is we'll come back to since we're using this terminal, I can check out then branch. I can call it Dave. So what I'm saying now is currently now, because we've been, let me go to our VS Code and show us something. So once you come to VS Code, right? This presentation is not VS Code, but then I just have to mention it. You see, once you realize your GitHub, one thing you know that successfully initialize that, and here you will see here, this is GitHub branch. It said that this will tell you the current branch you are in, which is our main branch. So and you know that you have multiple branches in your GitHub repository currently on the main branch. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see your
Yes,
VS.
we can.
I
Yeah,
can't I can't see your screen. Mm. I can't see
we
your
can
VS
hear
Code.
you.
Mm.
Can you see my? Can everyone see, who else?
I can see your screen. I can see it.
You can see my VS Code.
No, no,
Yes,
no.
we can.
You've taken it up from VS Code.
Can you see my VS Code now?
Your screen is displaying terminal.
Yes, yes,
Terminal.
yes.
Your screen is displaying terminal
Yes.
on my side.
Oh, really?
I can see your VS Code from here.
Oh, I think David, the problem might be from your end.
Okay. Okay.
So once you initialize your GitHub, you will see the current branch you are working on here. So this command I wanted to run initially. Once I run this command, what this command will do for me is it will create a new branch for me, and at the same time shake out. Shaking out to that branch means it will leave the main branch that we are currently in, and it will move to that div branch. So technically branch.
Uh,
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, you can proceed.
Yeah, Dave was asking a question before
Okay.
the
Okay. Ask
meeting
again.
ended.
Ask again, please.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear
Proceed.
me? Yes,
Proceed.
I can hear you.
Okay, I said when I learned Git and GitHub, I mostly make use of Visual Code after initializing. So making use of Visual Code. That's the terminal there to pass programs into Git GitHub. So this one you thought is more for me. I think it's more somehow more complex, and that one is much more easier. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, I think the I don't know the complexity. Yeah, but it doesn't matter the terminal you use. Even if you install Git, Git comes with a Git bash terminal.
Mm-hmm.
That even if you use Git bash, it VS Code provides us with its terminal too. I would have loved to use VS Code terminal, but my system was not very fast enough, and not everybody might be using VS Code anyway. So I also
Okay.
believe, yeah, most editors has terminal, but then the using the computer terminal is more like a general way of doing it. You get?
Uh, Hello. If any other person has any question, can ask.
Sure. If anyone has questions, you can ask. If you have blockers, you have errors, you can also bring it up.
Hello, house. Any other question? George, do you have a question to ask? Mr. George.
Well, no, I don't have any. I'm still studying it.
Okay.
The thing is somehow confusing, but I'll go over it again and again.
Okay. Wherever you're finding it difficult, you just need to bring it to our notice. We'll break it down, right?
Okay.
So okay.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Mr. Israel, any question, please? Maybe no noise. I'm making.
Not really, sir. Not really, sir.
So you understood everything that was taught here.
I like I just signed into it or so I still need
They need to
to go
pass
to
on it now.
Because
That's something that
the reason why I'm asking is
I
this.
understand.
The reason why I'm asking is this
They need to practice.
assignment, because I need to be seeing your repository, which you're going to be sending in the group chat. I'll be checking all those things. Very, very vital and very important. So that at least this will encourage the professionals that are coming to train us, that yes, these guys are not just teaching you and just leave it under the bed. No. So I want us to work with this. It is very essential and very important as a developer. Whatever you chose in tech, you need to know how to use Git and GitHub, to store your progress. Very, very important. Very, very important. So wherever you're finding difficult, I want you to just drop it in the group chat so we can look into that. Right. So that's just that. So by God willing, let me just use the opportunity to say, and I can say thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you a lot. You've done a great job. What you did was just a good summary of Git and GitHub. But however, the other people I'm going to be
Yeah.
bringing that are going to be doing breakdown, like how to create repository. It just break that is going to be a breakdown step by step, which I mean it's not going to be a summary. What we just have today was a summary. All right, so we're going to have the video. We're going to watch it. I want to also encourage us to follow our page, just like it is in this appearing in the screen. DTech in General Africa. Follow the page, like the page. Also invite other people. People that are going to be in this group, in the WhatsApp group, are those that are ready to do assignment, because very soon I'm going to be filtering. I needed serious people. I needed serious people to be part of this. I mean, this development, because I need it's so essential for me to build men, and that's the process we are. So for those professionals that are in with us, kudos to you guys, because it is not easy. I'm not paying you guys anything, right? It's just to impact knowledge. I'm not paying you guys anything. The legacy you leave behind is this knowledge you've impacted in your fellow men, whether irrespective of maybe knowing him or whatever it is. You don't need to know me before you impact the knowledge I have today as a project manager. The person that taught me up to date, I have not seen the person. I'm telling you, it's just this on. I have not seen the person up to date. Now, a particular recruiter found me on LinkedIn, and he told me that he needed 10 different I mean, in the role I'm doing, in the role I'm playing, he needed 10 people. I was able to send 10 people, and they, you know what, they were shortlisted. So I don't know how far the interview, if they interview them and they did well in their interview, they will recruit them. That's the blessing. That's what we're looking at. So it's not as if we're playing here. I'm not doing anything. I mean, you don't. I'm not um um uh in fact, I'm creating ways for people and also helping myself, because the more you help people, the more you help yourself. And that's just the best thing. So please, wherever you're having issue, let it be known. We'll look into it and do our best to make sure that it is more, more easy for you to follow. So by next week, somebody is coming on board to, because I had somebody talking about Terminal. Somebody is coming to teach us on Terminal, basic commands for Linux Terminal, right? Basic command for Terminal. The
Java,
best, so not
JavaScript.
JavaScript. Hold on. Those on that small, small. You know, will fly. You have to walk. You have to creep before you stand there, before you start walking, before you fly. You don't just from baby. You don't do that. If you do that, you will crash. So we need to. What I'm building is step by step how to make this progress. It's not just from this you jump to JavaScript. You will fail. You need to know some basic things. You need to. I mean, that are very very vital in this field before you can go to JavaScript. Do you understand? You need to know this particular thing that they are. I mean, in Eclipse is teaching us now, Git and GitHub. It is very vital we have this information, we have this knowledge first, because that's we need to know how to store our progress. Even when you know it, you need to still go back, repractice, still practice as if you don't even know it again. That's the best thing. Don't feel you've known it. Oh, it is Git and GitHub is wide. In fact, it's wide. GitHub alone is something else, right? So that is just that. So next week, somebody will be coming to take us on terminal command. Somebody else, not Engineer Kisley. So we'll be breaking it down step by step, terminal command, and then thereabout. So we'll move ahead and then make progress. That's just on that note. After that, the next we'll just keep moving. Then if there's need for me to bring someone to come and teach us Bootstrap, because Bootstrap is more of CSS framework. It makes our work more faster instead of us using CSS to do some certain you know code. We just use our Bootstrap to make it more faster. That's a framework for CSS. So that's how we do move from one stage to another. We don't just jump from from 1 to 10. From one we count 1 2 before we get to 10. So that will help us a lot, and it's a way of building a solid foundation in tech. Very very important. Then after all this we are doing, you can now decide to choose. Oh, I want to be a web developer. Oh, I want to be a project manager. Oh, I want to be a software engineer. Now we are doing everything to cover every aspect, so you can decide to choose one aspect from what we're doing. That's why what we're doing is to start from scratch to the extreme end. You can now pick, okay, I want to reside in this particular aspect of profession. Let me just be doing web. Okay, let me just focus on back end, or let me focus on front end. Depends.
Mm.
So we'll go through that miles, right? So I want you to calm down. There's no need to rush. You calm down step by step. We'll get to that extent. Just calm down. If you can read ahead, it is good. Read ahead, make research ahead, go ahead of the class, which is very very important. Go ahead of the class, read ahead, study more, Very, very good. When you come to the class, let's follow it step by step. So because it is very, very essential. That's how we build. Mm. So that's just that from me. Any other question before we call it close? So next Saturday, please, I want to encourage us to come on board. We'll be taking somebody will take us on terminal that Kingsley open now. So somebody will take us on that terminal command. You know how to create a folder using terminal, not just creating a folder with your normal using a Ubuntu terminal, right? How to create a folder. Basically, it's going to be on Git Bash. So how to create a folder, how to manipulate folder, how to sending your project through that Git Bash terminal command to your GitHub. How to a lot of things, just terminal command purely. So I want to encourage us to come on board next week, and I pray God that whatever we're learning here is going to be beneficial to us by the grace of God. It's not in vain and to never be in vain. So that's just that on my own part. So thank you so much. If you have any question, you can proceed before we call it a day.
So mine is not a question. Mine like an action point or like an encouragement. So I would advise each and every one of us to try as much as to build a community around what we are doing here. What I mean is that um, software development would be very tedious and very hard at times. So see it like whoever you see here is someone you can reach out to at any time, right? So if you are building on something and you are stuck or you have challenges, feel free to post challenge on the platform, and then any of us can help you out, or if you to people who can help you out, right? Just try as much as possible as you can to not to try to do things just on your own. Just try as much as
Okay.
to, yeah, include others as
Can
well.
can can I DM you directly, Mr. Kingsley?
Yes,
Is
sure, at
it
any
is it
time.
allowed?
Sure, you can DM me, you can send it on the format. Like,
Hello.
Okay, okay.
I'll prefer.
I will communicate with you
Hello.
personally.
I would prefer you send it in the group chat because there are other professionals there, right? You can tag Kingsley.
Okay.
You can tag Kingsley in the group and then ask the question. However, there are other professionals because I also want other people to learn from what you are asking. Do you understand? I also want other people in the group to learn, not just you learning aside. Other people in the when you send a particular you make a particular request, let other people know. "Oh, this is what your if the answer is coming down to that group, everybody will be able to have that knowledge as regards to what your request is, right? So that's that on that note. I want it to be on the group. You can ask him privately, but it will be more interesting if you put it in the group chat so other people can learn. That's the community I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build where everybody can learn, not just on your own. And yeah, you can learn on your own, but when it has to do with something in the group, let's just put in the group so that people, your colleagues, can also learn from that experience. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's why I said post whatever you post your challenge in the group chat. People will respond to it. Post it in the whatever you're working on. If you try to work alone in this career path, sometimes it is very tedious, like I said. So you need other people to carry you along. You need other people to help you. Yes, you can study, you can go on YouTube, but then you need other people in the group professional experts that are in this field to blend you on that regards. That's just very, very important. You can't do without it. So I encourage you to ask your question in the group chat, tag whoever you want to tag, so that even those that doesn't even know the question, when the answer comes, they will have to learn from it. Am I making sense?
sure, you are.
Okay, so that's just my own point. And please, I want to please that
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I want to plead with us to please follow our page, like the page, share the page, let it just go viral. Share the page, follow the page, and encourage people to like that page. Those that are in the group chat, like I said, those that are in this WhatsApp group chat are those that I took them. Man, I'm taking them so serious, right? There are people I took so serious because I believe that your assignment is going to be, you're going to be doing your assignment. Everything is going to be going effectively as as the goal and the vision of what we're doing. So please just encourage other people to, as time goes on, of course, there's going to be those that are joining you. I'm interviewing them. I don't just put them in the group. I don't need anybody to fill that group. I need people that are serious to build, a quality career for themselves. That's just it. And at the end, tomorrow, I just want to see you become who God wants you to be. That's just my goal. We become who God wants you to be. That's my goal, and that's my dream, and that's just what it is. So please share the group, share that. I mean, share the page, the Facebook page, like it. Encourage other people to join, rate it as well, right? So thank you so much from me. I hear the mic, Engineer Kingsley. One more time, thank you, Engineer Austin. Hello, Austin.
Yeah,
You've been here. Do you
yeah,
have
yeah.
do you have any question? Let me even share.
Not
Let me
really,
let,
not.
let me let me share a testimony. Austin, okay, Austin, can you tell them how you started? So can you tell them how you started? I just want to encourage people. I just want to encourage people
Okay,
how you
okay.
started.
Good
How,
evening,
how, how I
everybody.
started with you. Yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I can hear
So,
you also.
okay, good evening, everybody.
Proceed, please.
Okay, okay. My journey started early this year. That was late January when I contacted our brother engineer Chigbo. I told him about my journey, how I want to go into the tech program and everything. So he encouraged me by asking me to download a few things, and he sent me some files to read and also to download. He sent me some links too. I did that, and I downloaded more other videos for myself, and I started the journey. That was by February. And we were communicating though. I was asking some questions. Whenever I get stuck, I ask questions. He would tell me, okay, keep it up, do this first, don't rush this, just do this one first. And I went ahead doing those things he told me. But I needed to upgrade, so I had to join as in another community, like go to this tech school, one of the schools around me here. I enrolled there. Although it was based on scholarship though, because the person who owns the place saw my performance in the language I was learning before, Python. So he wanted me to be a web developer. So he gave me a scholarship, and I enrolled there, and I started training and working with them. After about 2 months or the third month thereabout, I was the best student actually in the class, because while I was there, I was asking questions, calling engineer to tell me some things, and I was just progressing though. I was still doing my more studies, although sometimes I spend 15 hours on the system just to get something out of it. Because he will always tell me, drill yourself, see this thing as your life, as in spend time studying, spend time reading, let this thing be you, and let you also be this. So sometimes I spend 15 hours a day or more just to get what I want to get. And on the long run, from the class, after the class and everything, my instructor who came from Port Harcourt, when the lady went back, she recommended me after my session with the school and everything. And she recommended me and said I was the best student. She told the management. And they called me after like a month of me passing out from the place. They called me and they invited me to come and be one of their instructors, which today I'm happy to be their instructor, and I've been training people on web development as well, like the HTML,
Austin
CSS,
is testifying.
JavaScript, and the likes.
I'm
So
very happy.
that's how my journey began, because
You
today
will
now
watch
I
the
can
recording.
stand tall and say I'm a web developer. But kudos to engineer for the advice, for the encouragement and everything. As in, everything. I just want to say thank you for that. So today I know I'm proud to be part of this family, and it's a good one for me. So that's it.
Wow, thank you so much. I believe all of us have heard the testimony. It's just to encourage us. There's no big deal. No, it's just to encourage us. If he can start this year, I knew when it start, nothing, no knowledge. And just like the way I'm pushing it up to everyone in the group, you must do this. You see, truth is follow it step by step. Don't rush it. If you rush it, you will fail. You have to follow step. You must read primary one before you count two. That will make you to understand. That's the foundation. Once the foundation is right, forget about every other thing. But once the foundation is scattered, whatever you're building will be falling apart. That's just that. So it's just an encouragement for every one of us. Take this thing serious. There is life in this thing. You can. There is life in this thing. That's the truth. There is life in this thing. After maybe we've grabbed majorly most of the knowledge that I wanted us, I will come on board to teach us how to manage projects, because what this project, right? So I will teach us, but that one is not just now. We need to have foundation of whatever we're doing. Then now teach us how to manage projects, right? So that's just that. So I want to kudos to everybody that attend this, that are present in this section. God bless you. By next week, please still come on online. I'm still going to send the link. So next week going to be purely on terminal command. You are right. That's just what we'll do next week. So thank you very much. I hit the mic. So goodbye. Good night, everyone. Thank you. So this video
Yeah.
will be out, and I will share the video. I will share the link. So please, like I said, go on our Facebook page, like the page, follow the page, share the page. Let other people come to join, right? I need people. I need more people. I need more people, please. Those that are serious, let them come to join. But however, if they are coming, I will interview them, because they are not coming to fill space. They are coming to become valuable. Because tomorrow, you like Austin now, very soon I'll set up his section. He will also come and teach us what he has learned. So, but now it's not. I don't want to go that extent now. I just want us to grab whatever we're grabbing until that every one of us will teach. Every one of us will make impact, and that's just how I want this this platform to run. So thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, good night. Thank you.